What's up, guys? I'm back, and so is the fro. Anyways, I'm late again, as is tradition. Look at this. This takes up like 1/3 of the screen. Crazy. Anyways, this is my end of the year video at the beginning of this year. Happy 2024, everyone. First things first, my game of the year of 2023 was probably Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I know, I don't like open world Zelda as much, but it was still pretty fun. And this was the first game I genuinely really wanted DLC for, and I'm not getting DLC for it. Wild. Although Octopath 2 was up there. It would be my JRPG of 2023. But my favorite game of last year that didn't come out in 2023 was Persona 4 Golden. That was so much fun. I forgot how fun that game was. But that's also because I beat the game for real this time. The worst game I played last year is between Dragon Quest VII and Nino Kuni 2. Probably gonna give it to Dragon Quest VII because Nino Kuni 2 at least is short. It just flew by, where DQ7 didn't know how to begin or end. But that's not what we're really here for, is it? No. We're here to look at everyone's favorite part, my favorite part, the comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let us respond. First, my Mother's Day video, and forgive me, I'm reading from my laptop. The Spiky 419. Such a wholesome video. The fact you aren't doing this for views or trying to follow some recent fad, that you genuinely want your mother to be a part of what you do, is the sweetest thing ever. I love it. I love it too. It's no secret, I'm a mommy's girl. I love my mom. My mom is the most important woman of my life. She made me the woman I am today. She instilled some great values, my favorite being a free thinker. And I just think that's a mark of a really good parent, where they don't, you know, they want to instill you with similar beliefs, obviously, but they still give you room to grow and come to your own conclusions. And I don't know, even if we disagree on things, it's just, I love her, you know? She raised me, she took care of me, she did more for me than I'll ever be able to pay her back for. You know, she's a great mom. She's a great mom. I couldn't ask for a better mom. I love my mom. And, you know, if I'm being honest, you know, we're not here forever, and I just want something that I can look back on, or my mom can look back on. You know, neither of our lives are guaranteed. And I'm not trying to make this morbid. This sounds really morbid. Like, we're both fine, we're both okay, you know? I'm not trying to make this sound like we're on our deathbed. No. It's just, my mom matters more to me than any views, YouTube algorithm, YouTube stats in general, you know? Like, I don't give a fuck. Algorithm be damned. My mom will always come first. Period. This is a small conversation. I'll leave it on screen. Shatters 2010. I'll admit, I always assumed you were a little fake, but having seen this, I was all wrong. You are the genuine article, and you're a really great person. I offer my apologies. Take my subscription, Pelvic. Keep up the good work. I asked why. They say, don't get me wrong, your show is really quality, but the enthusiasm, the polish, my withered, cynical soul thought it just seemed too good to be genuine, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually get that, like from one cynical soul to another. Plenty of YouTubers, let's say Danny Sexbang or Gaming Man or more showbiz types, trading in on their charisma and looks to corral some dosh talking to nerds. Reading scripts, faking enthusiasm, trying to get with the gaming companies and marketing sideline or hawk shirts as a stepping stone into showbiz. Not that that's all wrong, YouTube is, after all, showbiz. Putting on a face and putting on a show is just part of your job. More power to all of you. Just gotta take it with a grain of salt is all. But seeing your mom, seeing you casually rap with her, and hearing what you were like growing up, a sweet kid, fun-loving, and whip-smart, it suggests you were pretty close to what you appear to be. A woman with a hobby who happens to be insanely charismatic, professional, and stunningly attractive. Your show is quality because you're a go-getter who knows her subject. It adds a whole element of sincere that's next level. That was so sweet. I know it may seem like a backhanded compliment-ish at first, but I did not take it that way. I thought it was very touching. And I don't necessarily disagree with you. YouTube is showbiz, and my friends even told me I seem more peppy in my videos than I am in real life, which is probably true, because who would want to listen to me like, hey everybody, this is Drakengard 3. I played it on the PlayStation 3. That's fucking boring. Like, no one wants to hear me talk about it like that, okay? I don't want to hear me talk about Drakengard 3 ever, actually. But despite all the glitz and glam, I'm happy that you got a peek to the sincere girl that plays Lady Pelvic. Fappy Daber 1774. You have to go into the game with no expectations and experience it for what it is. You can't compare it to anything else. You can't expect anything other than a turn-based grind. If, and that's a big if, you could take your time and enjoy it for what it is, you might be able to enjoy this game. You might be able to love this game, and you might find it's your favorite traditional JRPG of all time. I don't necessarily disagree with you on expectations. If they're up here and the game ends up being here, that doesn't mean the game is bad, it just means it's not here. It's here, and here's pretty high compared to there, you know what I mean? The thing with DQ7 though, is I had low expectations. They were there. And the expectations were met. But I do agree that Dragon Quest VII seems like a game best taken at a slow pace. As someone who reviews games, I don't have the luxury to like necessarily take my time. I'm not exactly on IGN time, but you know, I gotta play the game so I can make the review and move on to the next game, make the next video, you know, keep production rolling, right? Dragon Quest VII is kind of like how I handle fluffy slice of life animes. If I binge those, I get bored, I get annoyed, I get like some type of way. I'm like, oh my god, when is something gonna happen? When it's meant to be taken slow, you know, cozied up, watch an episode or two, feel good, enjoy it, and then call it a day. If I could play Dragon Quest VII like that, maybe. Maybe. That's a big maybe. A big maybe that it's an okay game. I refuse to say it's a good game, but it's okay. I'm switching between my phone and my laptop. Lupinian Star. I've been subscribed for quite a while, but I never commented, but I saw your 2022 wrap up after catching some of your newer videos. Then I watched your older ones. I want to say I'm loving the new thumbnails and the new types of titles. You call them clickbaity, and while they're definitely not the same straightforward titles as before, I love that they're not anything ridiculous. Also that you keep the game title in the title. I've seen some clickbait titles that don't even tell you the game and it kills me. But you've also grown so much in making videos, and I really hope 2023 is the year you need it to be. Love this look in DQ7, it solidified my plan to never play it, but I adore hearing about JRPGs I'll never play. Firstly, thank you. Secondly, I'm so sorry. There are some thumbnails now that don't have the name of the game in it because it doesn't look good. I'm sorry. But I'll keep your feedback in mind. But real talk, I don't enjoy clickbaity thumbnails. However, numbers have shown me clickbaity thumbnails work. So clickbaity thumbnails it is. If it were up to me, yes, I would love straightforward thumbnail titles. Review Nino Kuni 2. Review Eastward. Review Bayonetta 3. But damn it, YouTube has pushed me to be sensational. And then you mentioned my 2022 wrap-up video, which brings me to my 2023 wrap-up video where I said some things about quitting YouTube. Let's talk about it. Not gonna lie, nothing much has changed. I still feel lost. I still feel like I'm trying to figure stuff out. Still haven't thought of a new name. All I know is I like the title Voyage, but I don't know. Maybe this sounds terrible, but Voyage sounds a little too masculine for my liking. Like I want something Voyage. Something maybe Journey. Journey sounds a little bit more feminine. I don't know. I want something a little bit more ladylike, you know? Haven't decided yet, so that's still in the works. As for quitting, I'm not going to quit yet, but I feel like I'm going to slow down. I feel like that's the wave. It seems to be a new strat is long form content, so I'm going to play around with that a bit. Right now, my Persona 3 video that I'm working on is 45 minutes. I'm trying to trim that bitch down to like 40 minutes, like 45. I don't want to edit 45-minute videos. Oh my god. You know, and considering how many games I play, it's just not possible for me to consistently make 45-minute videos. But that means my video schedule will be slowing down, so it's probably a video every 2, maybe even 3 months. We'll see. The holidays have been hectic. It's been over 2 months about this Persona 3 video. It's being worked on, though. It's being worked on. And speaking of Persona 3, because I played it recently, and that game, like, I don't know, really made me think about some things, considering it's a game about how to live life. And something I've been thinking about is I've dedicated, 8, 9 years, maybe even 10 years at this point, to YouTube. And that means for, let's just say, 10 years of my life, it's me sitting in my room playing video games. Now listen, I love video games as much as the next person. I believe that's quite clear. But I don't believe I'm really taking advantage of life, you know? I haven't traveled, there are relationships I think I could do better at fostering and nurturing and growing. Yeah, and frankly, I just don't think being, frankly, sort of a NEET isn't very healthy. If I'm being honest, like, bitch, I need to touch grass is really what I'm saying. There are just days where I don't get fresh air. I straight up just don't go outside. And I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's good. So that's like another thing I'm trying to change. Just little changes in my life that kind of have me step away from a screen. There are other things that happened last year. I lost a family member to cancer, and then loosely friend, it's one of those friends where you always see at parties, passed away because they unfortunately OD'd, and you know, they're around my age. Now granted, I don't do drugs, but you know, just life comes at you fast. And again, spending 10 years playing video games, love games, but there's life to be experienced, and we're not on this earth forever. So, gosh, this is the second time I brought up death. Like, holy shit, what's going on, guys? Ugh. The point is, I just need some space, but I still like YouTube. So, YouTube is still a part of my life. I'm just taking care of me first. We're putting me first. Okay. Patreon will also be tweaked a bit to help accommodate my new lifestyle, I suppose. So, stay on the lookout for that. The short of it is I'm staying on YouTube. I'm just slowing down a bit, reorganizing and reprioritizing things in my life, and I hope you guys stick around for it. SMT5, speaking of which, can I just take a moment to say thank you so much for blowing that video up. In less than 24 hours, I got 10k views, which is a lot for my channel. It's now like 25k views. Again, a lot for my channel. So thank you, SMT. I don't know what you guys call yourselves. SMT people, group, fan club, cult. I appreciate you guys. Before I even get into it, we talked about clickbait thumbs before, and I just want to stress to all my YouTubers out there, clickbait away. The thumbnail alone, I think really did help. Just, why do people hate it? Something like, what do you mean people hate it? People hate this game, what's going on here? Something that just like, I don't know, gets people to click. The comments I get on the thumbnail alone is crazy. I mean, look, before I watch this, who hates it and why is their taste in music not better? And you see that? Before I watched this, worked like a charm. People didn't even watch the video, and I got an insane amount of engagement. These aren't even all the thumbnail related comments. This is just a fraction. To any YouTubers, be sensational with the thumbnails. People may complain, but you know, you won't be complaining when you see your numbers go up. So, next one. Now we're gonna get sassy. Jonathan Soko 1085. Here we go. There's always that one. It's a bad game. It's fine if you or anyone loves it, but claiming it's not bad is just deceptive. I respond, he says, it's a bad game. Again, it's fine to like something bad. I like a lot of bad games, but I don't try to tell people that they aren't bad. Let's be real here for a second. I like Technomancer. It's a favorite RPG of mine. It's indeed bad in a general term, and I won't lie about that. But I do love it. Growing up a bit helps you understand that. Also, one last thing. I can use your logic to defend anything against actual criticism. Oh, that's just your opinion. Oh, it's subjective. I can apply that bad logic to all things. Okay. Alright, guy. Once again, my opinion is subjective. My reviews are a mix of objective and subjective. What do I mean? If I say SMT5, the Nahabino can jump. That is a fact. That's an objective truth. Nahabino can jump. If I say the jump feels floaty, now it's subjective. It feels floaty. To me. To you, maybe it feels snappy. It feels good. It feels weighted. Doesn't matter. Subjective. Okay, yes, we agree it's cool and okay, fine, just dandy to like what we perceive as bad media. I love Tales of Grace's F. A lot of people don't. Fuck those people. Just kidding. Not really. At the end of the day, it's an opinion. You're not understanding that you are not the god of what is and is not a good and bad piece of media. Neither am I, neither is anyone watching. Everyone values different things. For example, I value characters and storytelling. While the storytelling isn't phenomenal, I think Tales of Grace's F has a great cast of characters. I love them. So for me, that elevates the game. Other people don't like the cast, and it lowers the game's score for them. Cool. Other people could care less about the story and more about the gameplay. Let's say Bayonetta. Bayonetta's story is all sorts of crazy, but damn is the gameplay great. Some people are like, oh, anything less than 60 frames I dock points from. Other people are like, we don't care as long as it's steady. Me? I'm that people. At the end of the day, it's an opinion. And on top of that, if you really believe SMT5 is a bad game, like eat shit kind of game, I am so curious as to what you think is a okay game. Not a good game, not a great game, just an okay game. A solid 7, considering this is bad. And then you say you could use my logic to defend anything against actual criticism. Pause. Hold on. This implies I didn't critique the game, so silly me, but I'm just curious, what do you call this again? Representatives, aka characters which SMT is not known for doing well. The primary cast is you, the Nahabino, who is one of the worst protagonists I have ever played as. He doesn't even make sounds. Dazai got exceptionally more screen time than the others, and somehow still failed him as a character. He goes from point A to D in a blink of an eye, and it was jarring and comical even. You arrive here in your early 50s and are expected to fight level 70 demons. Easily the worst part of the game. Criticism. We call that criticism. And that wasn't even all of it. Also, to add to the discourse, the Lonely Goomba came in and was like, congrats on the worst comment I've seen in a while. And he responded, grow up. I fully understand this crowd cannot take hearing something they dislike without a meltdown. It's very simple. I want to know what you think a meltdown is. I'm not melting down. I'm not, losing my shit. I'm just judging you. Yo, I state my opinion every video I make. And in every video, there's plenty of people who disagree with me. And I'm okay with that. As long as we keep it respectful, we're good. So, how about you take your own advice and grow up? Mountain MGTOW 5421. You're not a gamer, just stop. I swear to fuck, this guy comments on one of my videos at least once a year. And I don't know about you guys, but if you guys don't like a channel, you think I'm a fake gamer girl, cool. Then just block my channel. Don't recommend this video. Don't recommend this channel. But you keep coming back, and I'm starting to think you like me. Saranio Store 3839. Dear God, she's pretty and has reasonable opinions. Subscribe! Thank you. I needed some positivity after these last few comments. I say that as we get into the comments of the Nino Kuni 2. Okay, Sunny 12681. I don't know why I said it like that. Nino Kuni 2 is one of those games that you would really appreciate if you grew up with it. The problem is that people who make review videos of Nino Kuni 2 say negative things about it because they compare Nino Kuni 2 with their favorite RPG games, and right away they say it's disappointing. Nino Kuni 2 should not be compared to any game and should stand out by itself. This game is amazing. Many of those who make reviews of this game fail to deliver on how great this game really is. Just look at the Tales series. When making reviews, comparing a game to another game will always cause a reviewer to say something negative. The game should be reviewed just by focusing on the game being reviewed without comparing it to other games. Then you'll get the true review. Nino Kuni 1 and Nino Kuni 2 are meant to be very different games that take place in the same world. Nino Kuni 2 delivered in everything. I see nothing wrong with this game, it's very awesome. Nino Kuni 2 is also not frustrating like the first one because Nino Kuni 1 is actually too hard for the age group that it's rated for. First of all, I love that homie wrote something 12 hours ago, then comes back to write more. It just means I live rent-free in his mind for a bit. And I'm not gonna lie, I do take a sick pleasure of just people coming back to tell me how wrong I am. I'm like, oh, you just can't get me out of your mind. That sounded sarcastic. I wasn't trying to be sarcastic. Maybe a little. But I am grateful. Engagement. But now let's get into the meat of their comments. I feel like that could be said with most games you grow up with because that's all we know. We have such a limited scope of what games are out there. You know, if you only played Pac-Man, there was a time where Pac-Man was the shit, like unbelievable. Oh my god, look, you're collecting pellets. Oh my god, this one turns ghost blue. Whoa! That used to be like the thing. You know, I've seen some retrospectives of Ocarina of Time, where as a kid, oh my god, seeing the giant field, Hyrule Field open up to you, oh, that was incredible. But now going back to it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of empty, you know? But because of my limited scope as a kid, I just saw this giant sandbox world. As for comparisons, you could take every single one that I made in the review, remove them, and nothing would change. I could stand on everything I said. Character dies in the beginning, and it's supposed to be a thing, emotional character that you have such short time with, but like they mean so much to you. It failed. Oh man, one of the characters is hinting at being traitorous. Oh god, oh gee, wonder where this is going. Oh, it's a fucking nothing burger. Oh man, how is this character going to escape this place? Huh? They're using a bunch of random magical trinkets that have never been seen or mentioned, referenced within the entire game out of nowhere, so it's really just a random get out of jail free card he pulled from his ass? Huh. That's not very exciting. Oh, okay, there's like a father-son dynamic forming here. I'm really interested in seeing how this will be explored. Spoiler alert, it's not. Gosh golly, here's a villain who's doing all sorts of villainy stuff. I certainly hope he has an interesting backstory. And that's just some of the issues I have. No comparison required. And I think comparing gets a bad rap, okay? I do understand to some extent, yes, of course, judge a game on its own merits. I agree. But I think comparisons are often a shorthand to explain a game quicker. So, Alliance Alive, I could say it's akin to Suikoden. You collect a lot of characters of various walks of life, and you recruit them to your cause. The difference is, you build guild houses. Oh, the combat, it's akin to, I believe, Final Fantasy II, where if you use a certain weapon repeatedly, or certain skills repeatedly, or get attacked repeatedly, stats that correspond to those actions will raise. It helps people get the point quicker and who understand those comparisons. I have a JRPG audience, so I compare a lot of JRPGs to other JRPGs, so they just kind of get, oh, this is what she means, got it, say less. And yeah, Nino Kuni 1 and 2 do get compared a lot. They are from the same series after all, and why shouldn't they? And if developers listen, they would say like, oh, people really liked this from Nino Kuni 1, but they didn't like this from Nino Kuni 1. So let's take the things they liked of Nino Kuni 1, put it in 2, and the things that they didn't like, let's take that away. But instead what they did is they took a major component of Nino Kuni 1, the monster collecting, and just removed it. So yeah, I think fans of Nino Kuni 1 have a reason to be kind of like taken back and be like, what the fuck? Like, this is not my Nino Kuni. Here's a comparison. Think of Pokemon without the Pokemon. You're now trainers fighting trainers. And you have Pokemon sprite spirit-esque things that give you buffs during battle. You think Pokemon fans would like that? If you're gonna deviate that big, then do something like what Pokemon actually did, like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. It's a whole different setup. Yeah, there's, turn-based combat, but now you're playing Pokemon, you fight Pokemon without the trainer, and you get them to join you, and each Pokemon, I think, has some kind of special ability to traverse things, spikes, water, stuff like that. It's not traditional Pokemon, but still Pokemon. Detective Pikachu. Now Pokemon has its own visual novel adventure game. And then there's things like Legend of Arceus or Arceus or whatever it's called. That to me should be, in my opinion, the new Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon fan, what do I know? But to me, that was definitely the natural progression of Pokemon. Open world, you could see the Pokemon on the map, you could ride your Pokemon around. It's really cool. Now to be fair, I don't think Nino Kuni has that luxury yet to just branch off in a bunch of different genres, as it's still small. Anyways, yes, Nino Kuni 1 and 2 are two different games, but Nino Kuni 2 removed a lot of what made Nino Kuni 1 so magical. I mean, hell, Studio Ghibli wasn't even a part of Nino Kuni 2. Sure, there were individuals, but not the whole studio. And yeah, I felt it. Again, monster collecting is gone. If you asked people, what are like the main things you think of when you think Nino Kuni 1, people would say, monster collecting, Studio Ghibli. Nino Kuni 2 had neither of those. It's cool that you like the game, you believe it delivered on everything, I believe it delivered on fucking nothing. Couldn't disagree with you more. The only thing we agree on is yes, Nino Kuni 1 was definitely too difficult for the age range it was aiming for. Unreal Cypher. Don't take this the wrong way, Pelvic Gaming, but I've been watching you for years and I love your content, but me and some friends believe that you are very, very negative. I understand you're passionate, but I feel like you enjoy to dislike RPGs. Do you still like these kinds of games, I wonder? Keep in mind, you have different people watching this, and think about how you want to come off on the internet. Okay, this comment was a journey. So when I first read this comment, I was like, am I not allowed to dislike games? And let's take a look at the reviews before it. So, Wandering Sword Demo, I had a positive experience with. Final Fantasy X, while the video was made 2 years ago, positive, but we won't count that. Dragon Quest VII, true, disliked it. Final Fantasy 16 Demo, praised the shit out of it. Octopath Traveler 2, best RPG of 2023. I enjoyed it more than FF16. So, I disliked 2 games. But if we remove the demos, that leaves me with Octopath 2, loved, and Dragon Quest VII, hated. Then Nino Kuni 2, I didn't like. Then we got to Zelda, non-RPG, but I loved it. Persona 4 Golden, way better than I remember. Loved it. Final Fantasy 16, mostly had a positive experience. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, enjoyed it. Eastward, it was okay. Slightly more dislike. Sea of Stars, ultimately I liked. The highs were high, but the lows were low. And then SMT5, I liked it. It's also important to note that I've played most of the critically acclaimed greatest JRPGs of all time. Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IX, Dragon Quest VIII, Xenogears, Xenoblade, Mother 3, Earthbound, Persona 3 through 5, you know, those greats. The ones I seem to be missing are, what, Terranigma? Maybe Legend of Legaia? Those are the ones off the top of my head. I'm not gonna say I'm scraping the barrel, but I'm definitely running out of those classic perceived 10 out of 10s. Now I'm playing a lot of mixed reviewed games. Tales of Arise, Final Fantasy 16, Bayonetta 3, or sometimes I play games that are good, I just don't love them as much as everyone else, like 13 Sentinels or Dragon Quest XI. I don't know what to tell you and the homies if you guys think I'm suddenly negative towards JRPGs because, checks notes, I dislike a game. And Nino Kuni 2, of all things, which is again another mixed reviewed game. In fact, I would say it teeters more on the negative side. Yes, it has its fans, and that's great, I'm just not one of them. And then you say, keep in mind people are watching and mind how you want to come off online. Listen, no matter what the fuck I do, people are going to like or dislike or feel indifferent about it. Some people like that I curse without censoring myself, some people don't. Some people like that I compare, some people don't. Some people want me to talk about spoiler sections in my reviews, some people don't. I will not be anyone's, picture perfect version of me. I am me. This is it. Take it or leave it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and not everyone is my cup of tea. Sucks to say, but some people grow out of other people. Maybe I'm just not the reviewer I used to be anymore, and you've just outgrown me. Sucks to say, if we part ways, hey, thanks for watching. If you choose to stay, hey, great, thanks. Just know this is what you're getting. Now, those are my initial thoughts of that comment, and they still hold true, but this comment really did seep into my soul a bit. I definitely took more time to process this comment. And when you said, I feel like you dislike RPGs, I'll say this. I have played a lot of RPGs. A lot. And I have noticed I have gotten pickier. I have a very clear idea of what I like in RPGs and what I don't like in RPGs. I'm pretty decent at understanding when my perception can be skewed. For example, I played Dragon Quest VII right after playing Chrono Cross, and I was a little bummed about the time mechanic because I just got finished playing a time mechanic game. So there was a part of me that was like, ugh, just on that fact alone. That's no fault of Dragon Quest VII, of course. But because I'm very much attuned to what I do and don't like in my gaming, I may appear harsh with some of my criticisms. I also notice I value novelty more. Well, what does that mean? I play a lot of JRPGs, and a lot of these JRPGs have a forest area. And some of them even do like the Misty shtick, where it's like the Lost Woods. You go one direction, you appear another direction. Or the sewers. We gotta invade the castle or leave the castle through the sewers. Been there, done that. It's fine. Part of the JRPG genre. I get it. When something is new, I'm shaken up a bit. For example, in the Wandering Sword demo, there are people who walk in the overworld who you can hire, battle, purchase from, and they were like traveling just as you were. They were going to destinations, leaving destinations, and it just felt very lively, and it was something I have not seen before. So I hope this clears up some things, that I am not negative toward JRPGs for the sake of being negative. If it was up to me, I wish I could enjoy every JRPG. I mean, who wants to play something for 40 to 80 to 100 hours when they're not enjoying it? Not me. I want to enjoy every hour I put into a game. But that's not always the case. But I'm also not going to lie to my viewers. At the end of the day, this is just my experience. I didn't shy away from saying my opinions on Ys 8. I didn't shy away from saying my opinions on Final Fantasy 8. And I'm not going to shy away from Nino Kuni 2. I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like. Final Fantasy 16 demo. Elvis BL? I like that magic is used for daily chores. I always thought that if you live in a world with magic, why not use it all the time? Right? Thank you. I too wondered the same thing, and I thought it was so exciting to see, you know, water crystals for like a well, ice crystals to like keep fish cold. I was like, thank you, finally. So I too was very happy to see that. FF-TP7QS. If this demo has convinced you to buy a game you weren't originally planning to buy, I would say it's done its job rather well. I 100% agree. It is a very successful demo. I just wish the demo reflected the entire game's experience. It did not. Final Fantasy 16, Bobby Corwin. I'm honestly shocked you put this in your top 5 and called this a good game after your whole review was pointing out how mid it was, which I was totally realizing and agreeing with you on throughout. I expected you to say like 5 out of 10 at the end. Did you just say that so people wouldn't flame you in the comments? No, I did not say that so people wouldn't flame me in the comments. I said that because I've played 7 Final Fantasy games. 2 of them I actively dislike, which leaves... I am not a stranger to being flamed in the comments. Just check my Ys 8 review. Goth Jones. I don't like dogs. Unfollowed. I mean, yes, I said what I said, but the winds do be changing. My mom got 2, like, puppies. They're wiener dogs named Creme Brulee. You can guess which is which. And they are acceptable creatures who I don't entirely mind. Maybe if this video gets 1,000 likes in 30 days, I'll feature them in a video. Yugi Frolife says FF9 and FF4 is their favorite Final Fantasy. Ah, I see you are a person of culture as well. Thank you. 9, 4, and 10 are my favorites, and I appreciate a fellow person of culture. Unportanter. One of the better, fairer reviews of Final Fantasy 16 that I've seen, especially breaking down the combat just beyond this is an FF combat or this is fun now. But the breakdown on whether or not if this is a real Final Fantasy game dances around the real meat of the matter. Final Fantasy is not about the broad story beats, it's not about the combat, which is constantly changing. The fact of the matter is that all other FF games, even 13 and 15, which I dislike, are swashbucklers with a strong sense of fun. Final Fantasy 16 isn't just dull in color and character designs, it removes minigames. It has no sense of humor, which is where it really misses the point of the Game of Thrones thing. It has no dancing, singing, whatever set piece. It has some of the worst pacing in the whole series. It's just an amazingly flat experience. And the only things in it that resemble fun, the icon fights, are gameplay-wise, even flatter. Well, thank you for your kind words. I do try to give, fair and honest reviews. I don't care to needlessly bully a game, but also shower the game in undeserved praise. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. That's not to say I have my games where the bias is real. Hello, Nier. But I do think you raise a good point. Something I didn't think about is there is no mini games, or there is no fun, levity. Because in Final Fantasy VI, you have Ultros, the whole play thing. I mean, rescuing people from a burning building. Final Fantasy IX, I love the marriage with Kina and Vivi, or Zidane when he's about to do something drastic. Yeah, that's a good point. Like Final Fantasy IV, you can get a lap dance. I mean, there's a whole fucking space whale. It's just, yeah, I think it did miss on some of the levity, charm, just fun moments. However, you are wrong on one point. You say it has no sense of humor, which is not true. Cid is funny. Cid is hilarious. So you take that back. Oh my god, that was a lot. But we made it. I have a lot of reviews coming your way, including a top 5 video that's cooking. I hope you all are looking forward to it. Some games I'm looking to get to this year are Final Fantasy V, Strange Journey, Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, and hopefully Persona 3 Reload. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate ya, love your face, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Mwah!